Good morning, everyone. I hope everything and everybody is fine on this beautiful Sunday morning. I have to say, though, I'm not responsible for any errors I make today because I am someone who hates daylight savings time. So I may get a little tongue-tied. So good morning. My name is Tanya Romine, and I am a member of this congregation and your worship associate today. On behalf of Reverend Dave Dunn, intern minister Liz Martin, director of religious exploration Lexi T. Brown, our music director Alex Peach, our great choir, the greeters, and the beautiful technical team that are making today's live stream possible, I would like to welcome you to Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North Congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. UUMAN is a liberal faith community with a mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey, every one of you are welcome here. Welcome to those that are joining us remotely. For any visitors who are here with us for the first time, and if you are comfortable doing so, would you please stand and tell us your name and where you are from so that we may get to know you a little better. Are there any visitors on my left? Good morning.
We're Daryl and Christine Fullerton. We were members here about 23 years ago.
Wonderful.
And we had two sons, Alex and Roswell, so if anybody remembers them. And they're doing fine. And we're here visiting our friends right here.
That's terrific. Welcome. Good to have you back. Anyone else on my left? Do we have anyone on my right? Okay. Welcome to everyone who is here. We have a few announcements. We have several adult enrichment offerings during second hour. They are listed in your order of worship along with the RE schedule and some upcoming UUMAN events. The annual UUMAN Talent Show is happening Saturday, March 22nd. If you can sing, juggle, recite Shakespeare, or play an instrument, even the harmonica or the kazoo, come on down. You can see some pretty funny things, and you can also be amazed at some of the talent that we have in this room. And now, Margaret Vandesteeg, the board's Special Projects Trustee, has a brief announcement.
Good morning. I'm Margaret. I'm Carla. And together we're the Stewardship Committee for this year, for 2025. So I can talk about this very long. I won't, so that's why I read from paper, otherwise I will break it. So it is that time of the year. Today we kick off the Fuel Human Stewardship. You all have seen the logo going around, some emails, the newsletter. And on your chair you found this, a little note. It's a scan for a trivia. So as a member, show your knowledge about the stewardship. You just use your camera and click the link. And on the other side already, for all the early birds, you can scan the pledge forms. So Lynn and Liz provided us with a little goodies, so we will hand out the ones that really know about stewardship. So now we need to talk about money, not a favorite subject for humanists. Our pledge goal for this year is $300,000. It's a lot. It's an increase of about 20% in comparison with last year. But we also increased our pledge units for about 20% over the last year. So we hope it's a goal. It's an ambitious goal, but with all your help, we can get there. Why do we need a higher pledge? There's a couple of reasons. I will tell about them shortly. We have more information about them later. If you're interested, ask us. We have the information in the fellowship hall. We are a growing community, you all have noticed. We have increased expenses. Unfortunately, our mortgage needs renewal, and as you all know, interest rates have been growing. Also, insurance. Insurance companies, all in the news, our insurance is increasing substantially too. Last but not least, our Harvest Moon auction, we really want to aim to use half of the funds we raise for a charity outside of UUMAN this year. But that means we need to raise those funds. So summarized, we need your support to financially fuel a growing UUMAN, and we reach that ambitious goal.
And she talks about money, I talk about fun stuff. So as part of our pledge, we wouldn't be the community that we are without your talent and your time. And as we all know, we get what we put in. So together with the financial pledge form, you will find on the website, and also the QR code has, we have a QR code for the pledge, the talent and time form. So there are several positions open that I'm sure you would find some fun joining a committee and being part of the community. Yeah, so we, when you pledge, make sure you look at this form. I'm not going to tell you how many positions are open because that's part of the quiz. So you go ahead and do the scan and answer the questions for the fantastic prize we have. We also have an FAQ, especially for new members, on the website that you can possibly get all your questions answered. We are going to be outside. We have a table with all this information, so if you have questions, please come and see us after the service. And there will be another email coming out this afternoon with more information. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, ladies. And now let us greet one another with the hand or elbow of friendship. Today, we are honored to have Ryan McCrae Eli join us to deliver the message. Ryan is the intern congregational minister at Unitarian Universalist Church at Annapolis, Maryland, and final year Samaritan at Iliff School of Theology in Denver, Colorado. Born in Metro Detroit, Ryan is a Navy ensign, former CIA officer, and Air Force special agent. No grass grows under his feet. Ryan combines the American Black Church and Afro-Brazilian spirituality with strong dedication to the principles of Unitarian Universalism.
Come, center down. Let us be here now. It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. Let's be here now. What's outside is outside. What awaits us is what awaits us. Let it wait. Just be here now. Let us enter into the presence of goodness together.
Let it shine in dark places, in moments of pain, in times of grief, in the darkness of hatred, violence, oppression, where there is discouragement and despair. Wherever darkness is to be put to flight, let there be light. This is the time of our service where children, young and old, are invited to come up to the front for our time for all ages. After the story, they are invited to exit into Fellowship Hall for Kids Community for a fun for all ages activity for the remainder of the service. Waverly Carter will be reading to us this morning.
And Tango Makes Three by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell. In the middle of New York City, there is a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy boat pond where they can sell their boats. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink to skate on in the winter. Best of all, it has its very own zoo. Every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals that live there. But children and their parents aren't the only families at the zoo. The animals make families of their own. There are red panda bear families with mothers and fathers and furry red panda bear cubs. There are monkey dads and monkey moms raising noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families and cotton-top tamarin families too. But in the penguin house, there are penguin families. Every year at the very same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins, and the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together. They sang to each other and swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Gramsci, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. Roy and Silo watched how the other penguins made a home, so they built a nest of stones for themselves. Every night, Roy and Silo slept there together, just like the other penguin couples. And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something they could not. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch. And then there would be a baby penguin. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it and sat. When Silo got sleepy, he slept, and when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam and Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock, but nothing happened. Then Mr. Gramsci got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. Roy and Silo knew just what to do. They moved the egg to the center of their nest. Every day they turned it so each side stayed warm. Some days Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days it was Silo's turn to take care of their egg. They sat in the morning and they sat at night. They sat through lunchtime and swim time and supper. They sat at the beginning of the month and they sat at the end of the month. And they sat all the days in between. Until one day they heard a sound coming from inside their egg. Peep, 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 it said. Roy and Silo called back. Squawk, squawk. Peep, peep, answered the egg. Suddenly, a tiny hole appeared in the egg shell. And then, crack! Out came their very own baby. She had fuzzy white feathers and a funny black beak. Now Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. Gramsci decided, because it takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food from their beaks. They snuggled her in the nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. Soon, Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her for a swim, just like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penthouse with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy, hooray, Silo, welcome, Tango, they cheered. At night, the three penguins returned to their nest. There, they snuggled together like all the other penguins in the penguin and all the other animals in the zoo and all the families in the big city around them. They went to sleep. The end.
If you are able, would you please stand and sing our opening hymn, number 28, The Fire of Commitment in the Blue Hymnal. Alex will play through once, and then we will sing together. At this point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you are so moved, please feel free to come forward, drop a pebble in the bowl, and express a joy or a sorrow that you may have. For those of you attending via our live stream, if you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please type it in the chat and I will read them.
my name is Valeria. I'm a member of this congregation. So I have a joy. Yesterday, one former student reached out to me, and he's a Venezuelan immigrant, and he's always been very scared about his immigration status. But he shared with me that he just reached out and he said, "Thank you, happy International Women's Day. You're just such an amazing woman, blah, blah, blah." And it was touching, but then he told me that he had gotten accepted into Holy Cross College, which is right across the street from my alma mater. And so he had plans to go there in the fall. So that was very grateful. Yeah.
My name is Bob Pop, and last week I dropped a pebble for Dirk Bender, who's in the hospital, in ICU unit in the hospital. Just want to give folks an update that Ann told me this morning to drop a pebble for Dirk. He's having his tube removed today. And so this is a pebble of promise and hope for him. So please keep Dirk Bender in your thoughts, and Ann, who's with him 24/7 practically. So anyways, keep him in your thoughts.
Hi, I'm Lynn Hannon, and I'm a member here. And this is also a pebble of hope. My niece's husband, Chris, is donating a kidney this week. He's going into the University of Maryland, and he's donating it to his cousin, who he didn't know existed until pretty recently. So this is really a brave and generous thing that he's doing, and we just hope that it turns out well for both of them.
My name is Richard Bomba. I am a member here. I used to teach at Milton High School for almost 20 years, and this is a pebble of sorrow and disgust that we're even in a place today where Senate Bill 120 is being proposed, which is, if you're not familiar with it, one which takes away all gay, straight alliances, all support for children growing up in our world today who are different, who aren't heteronormative in today's society. Because as a proud gay man, I have lived my entire life ashamed until this past year, coming to this church, of being who I am, which is wrong. And our children are going to go through this horrible period, if this is passed, where they can't even feel accepted in their own community, in their own schools. And it is ridiculous, and I've had enough, and I will do everything in my power to stop this, because just because we are different doesn't mean we are thrown away as trash. And I've had it. So this is my pebble of sorrow that we're even at this point. And I will do everything in my power to stop. I have gone to Target, I have gone to Walmart, I have gone everywhere to talk to managers of companies that I'd say, are you DEI? Do you hate me because I am different? And I've had it. And I hope other people will do the same. Because the manager at Target just looked at me and went, "So what's the problem?" I go, "You don't understand. I'm not going to support," and I hope a lot of other people will boycott and not support these companies that are doing this, because it's wrong and it's got to stop. Thank you.
I'm Delana, and I have a pebble of gratitude. I went to my very first protest in my 70 years. Lots of people from this congregation were there, and here's what I learned. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Elon Musk has got to go!
I will drop one more pebble for those joys and sorrows that are still too tender to escape the folds of our hearts.
for the choir. Oh, that was good. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And happy daylight savings time. When I first considered speaking about time, I imagined the creation of a quick guide for time's successful navigation, sort of a shorty thing full of helpful hints. So the first lesson I learned about time is that time humbles all. I had to reconfigure. That's kind of apropos on a day where either we lost an hour or jumped forward an hour, depending on how you conceive it. See, time, like love, is one of those things that we're all supposed to understand just by being alive, and then we're surprised when we don't. So let's start with the basics. Functionally, as we go about our day-to-day, time is most easily visualized as a line. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And as we grow in our ability to abstract, we realize that the beginning of that line extends backward some near infinite number of years, also known as a bajillion, gazillion years ago in scientific speech. And then time extends some near equivalent distance into the future. So time is an incredibly long line, and along this line, events occur. This is what we teach in schools. We say, plot out a timeline of the United States. So maybe we put Jamestown over here, Revolutionary War there, Louisiana Purchase here, and so on. We further divide this line into units, years into days, days into hours, minutes, seconds, nanoseconds. We use tools to track these units, calendars, clocks, watches. We want to meet up for a movie at 5, get Chinese food at 8, go home at 9:30. This is time, at least our understanding of time. But it's not the only understanding of time. The Yoruba people are an ethnic group that today inhabits Nigeria, Togo, and Benin. They are also present in large numbers throughout the African diaspora via immigration, both voluntary and forced. Due to the effects of European colonization and living within a capitalist world, the Yoruba have largely adopted European time as a cost of doing business. However, the traditional Yoruba understanding of time is quite different. In traditional Yoruba culture, time is largely divorced from numerical concepts. In his essay, Time in Yoruba Culture, Dr. Fayemi Ademola Kazeem explains that for the Yoruba, time is a function of the events and cycles of life as perceived by the people experiencing them. Numerical ages are a foreign concept. Instead, a person's age is the developmental phase of their life. So a newborn is ikoko. And when she begins to crawl, she is irakoro. And so forth all the way to elder, arugbu. Even death is a transition to a new phase in life. You cannot become an ancestor without death. Historical events are not recalled by numerical year, but by their proximity to important events, such as the birth of a loved one or the death of an important community figure. There's no designation for an hour. Instead, they use the twinkling of the human eye. No designation for a second. Instead, that's the blinking of the eye of the crab. A year is not composed of a number of days, but instead the completion of 2 seasons, rainy and dry. Years themselves are divided into male years and female years. A year with many disasters and death is considered male, while a female year is one of relative peace and prosperity. UUMAN, I'm still praying that 2025 is a female year for us all. It can happen, I believe it. Thus, the Yoruba conception of time is based on observations of important natural phenomena and people. Said differently, time is an expression of community values. A consequence of this is that one village might have a very different reckoning of when something happened than another 30 or 40 miles away, even when referring to the same event, because to the Yoruba, time is local. How strange. Time is local? That sounds odd. Some might even call that primitive. Thank goodness we've got it right, right? Humans have studied the stars for the entirety of our existence on this planet. With our naked eyes, we have seen in the stars the faces of our deities, and we've mapped our fate. Now, with technology, we can perceive the presence of celestial bodies at incredible distances, leading to the discovery of planets like Proxima Centauri b. At a mere 4 light years, Proxima Centauri b is the closest Earth-like planet that we know, meaning that it might contain liquid water, which could make the possibility of life as we know it possible. Yet with all of our technological and scientific prowess, we cannot in any satisfying way answer the following question: when is now on Proxima Centauri b? When is it? See, the problem is that the concept of linear time, as we commonly understand it, it falls apart the further and the faster we go. Say we've got a cousin. Let's think of a good cousin name. Harold, all right? Harold is on Proxima Centauri b. And if we whip out our handy-dandy super mega Hubble 2000X telescope, we can watch him cut his lawn on Proxima Centauri b an hour now. But the images that we would see are from 4.25 years ago. If we call him on our cell phone with the fastest possible direct connection, a speed known as c in physics, the resulting conversation would have an 8.5-year lag time between question and response. That is very frustrating. I need to know about his lawn care maintenance schedule right now. It's about to be spring. Do I fertilize or do I not fertilize? Harold, help me out. So let's all jump in our spaceship and go see our cousin in his Centauri lawn with our own eyes. How long will that take? Tough question. See, our spaceship is also a de facto time machine, and 2 factors complicate our calculations. First, this big block of rock that we're standing on, called Earth, functions like a speed bump for time. Heavy masses in space literally slow time. The heavier they are and the closer we are to them. So the clock in your car and the satellite that sends it GPS coordinates are literally experiencing time at different rates. If they did not include in the programming of the satellite a way to calculate this difference, it wouldn't know where you are. Second, the faster that we go in our spaceship, the slower time will run for the people we left behind on planet Earth. This is special relativity at work. A nice man named Einstein wrote about it. An 8-year space journey for us might equal 80 years for the folks on Earth, all depending on our velocity. If we accelerate fast enough, as we close in on c, aka light speed, we would essentially stop time. Yet, for us on the ship, we would experience now as right now. Now. So, what is now? Thich Nhat Hanh, founder of Plum Village International Sangha and author of the quintessential books, in the Western world at least, on mindfulness, explained now like this: your true home is here and now. It is not limited by time, space, nationality, or race. Your true home is not an abstract idea. It is something you can touch and live in every moment, and no one can take it away from you. You see, human, now is yours. No one can ever take your now. It's your own little pocket of special relativity. Now, I'm an amateur at astrophysics and mindfulness, so I can only give you what little I have, what little I've been able to piece together about the nature of reality, the nature of time. The way I figure it, time, big T time, is an expression of value. In math, time, unlike sound or light, is not a numerical constant. It is a variable. The Yoruba and other non-industrialized societies clued us into this long time ago. Time changes depending on the relative conditions of the phenomena being observed and the perspective of the observer. 365 days, 60 seconds, those are not time. Those are ways that we mark cycles, arbitrary values. And typically, when we talk about time, we commodify it, right? We talk about time like it's a $20 bill. Time is money. Boy, I wasted that time. I sure could use a little more time. Let me see if my buddy can loan me 20 minutes. Maybe I can deposit my extra time in the time bank and get some time interest back so I can have some more time, and then I'll go out and buy some time shares and some time stocks. Y'all, I've done a lot of research on time, but I have yet to encounter the mutual fund model of relativity. Commodifying time is a gateway to an unhealthy relationship with time, one structured by scarcity and all the negativity that comes with believing that there is never enough. So a better way to think about time might be to visualize it, not as a line or a river or a currency, but as a massive canvas with borders and edges out beyond our ability to perceive them. And now, our bubble of relativity is the paintbrush with which we paint that canvas, the canvas of time. Painting is not an accumulation of a thing, of objects subject to gain or loss. It is instead a creative expression of what we value. So let's practice together. Everybody close your eyes. Do it. Come on. I got to keep them open because I got to read what I'm saying. All right. I want you to imagine yourself as a brave she-ro, hero, or they-ro mounted on horseback trotting through a meadow path. I want you to paint your glorious riding cloak flowing powerfully in the wind. Paint the sun rays on your confident face. That feeling. I want you to take that feeling and paint yourself into your morning commute. Don't drop the feeling. You are just as heroic in your little car or even the bus is your loyal stallion. Paint your daily commute as adventure. Now, the day is late and you've returned home. Open the door. Now go to that fruit bowl, or if you're me, go to the refrigerator and pull out the fruit drawer. Only it's not a fruit drawer, it's a still life. Paul Cézanne has nothing on your apples and grapes. You take your fruit, you hold it up, you paint it with your mind. This is your fruit. And the next bite will be unique and wonderful, to happen once and never again. Now, turn to your home, the place where you live. I want you to think about it. What will we paint here? Maybe today is a day to paint sadness, and that's okay. We can paint that too. Paint mourning, And see how beautiful even that can be. Your home is strong. It can take it. It can hold sadness. It can also hold joy and comfort. How can we paint your space to be the warmest, most welcoming scene possible? Paint a fireplace. Maybe fold a blanket. Make yourself some warm tea. Or perhaps we paint the shoes of a partner or a child dropped haphazardly on the floor next to the rack, not on the rack, but it's not an annoyance today. It's a reminder of the other vibrant lives that share your life. Now open your eyes. See what good painters we are. See, we are time travelers by default, purely by being objects moving through space. But more critically, we are painters, painters of time. How we exist in the now, how we perceive now, and how our values are expressed in the choices that we make in the now is how we paint. My advice to you this morning is to paint with intention. If you need rest, go paint rest. Grab now and paint the most restful, lazy rest you can, and don't feel bad about it. Go lay down, sit in the sun. If you want to paint companionship, paint companionship. Paint companionship in whatever form is genuine to your soul. If you want to paint with a partner, paint with a partner. If the colors blend beautifully in some places, great. And if they clash horribly in others, also great. You are creating something unique. If you want to paint love, paint love. Paint your family and your friends. Forget everything else. Forget it for a little while. And stare into their faces. And paint them as best you can by being truly present with them in the now. And if you get lost on the canvas of time and you find yourself dripping metaphorical paint aimlessly without intention, if you feel lost staring back at paintings of the past with longing and sadness, or staring anxiously into the canvas of an unknown future, and you find yourself in need of guidance, think of the Yoruba. Remember, time is an expression of value. So paint your time with whatever you and your people value. Me, this year, I think I might paint some sadness and some adventure, like being here with you all. And I'm definitely gonna paint lots of love. But right now, in my now, with my paintbrush of now, I am painting you in this warm morning that we are spending together. I invite you to paint with me. This is our now, and what a beautiful now it is. Hold now into your hands and paint the nature of time and space with a lust for creation. Have a wonderful morning. Have a wonderful week. Ashe. Amen.
Enjoyable, was it not? Okay, so in an effort to fulfill and further our vision and mission of the congregation, we ask that our members and friends share their time, treasure, and talents. With this, we will now take the offering. You may also use the Give Now option on the Givelify. The Breeze app, sorry, big slip. Breeze, breeze. This month's 50/50 recipient, chosen by the senior youth, is Project Hope, a global organization that provides disaster relief and medical support on the front lines of the world's greatest health challenges. Any checks or Breeze donations specifically designated as 50/50 this month will also be shared with them. And now, if you are able, would you please stand and sing our closing hymn, number 1064, Blue Boat Home, in the blue hymnal. Alex will play through once, and then we will sing together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.